Hello, and welcome to Rootstock, the 100% Salesforce native ERP that's purpose-built for manufacturers and distributors. In this video, I'll be walking us through the production setup process, everything from managing bill of materials, routings, as well as production scheduling. Production in Rootstock always starts with our engineered item master records. This is going to be the key record that houses all of the configurations which are going to drive the downstream production behavior for this item. For example, in order to produce this top level finished good, I may need to purchase some raw materials. And then some of those raw materials I might need to purchase and then send out to a third-party contract manufacturer to add some value-added services to then bring that back in and then complete the production process. So you're able to see here how we can drive a multi-level bill of material, and then each level within that bill of material can either be manufactured or outsourced in order to drive production. Now, the actual control of these bill of materials can be managed through revisions. We can have multiple revisions, effective date those, release and implement those to help drive what materials are actually required for future work orders. We can utilize engineering change orders to manage updates to these revisions, or we can even integrate with third-party tools like AutoCAD and SolidWorks to improve collaboration and automation between your ERP users and your engineering teams. Now, from an operations perspective, we can also define our routing masters. These routing masters are going to define all of the machine and labor steps that are required in order to produce this item. So in this case, I have a two-step routing. Each step defines a work center in which that operation is expected to execute from. I'll define my setup grade, my run grades. This is going to define and standardize the cost in which I expect to complete and execute these items. And then I can also define the actual machines that are needed in order to complete these steps. And can then be incorporated into production and capacity planning. So with all of our materials and operations defined, we can now enter these items on sales orders and then kick off either make to order work orders, or we can leverage MRP and have these automatically be created so that we're building to stock. Regardless, we now have work orders that are created that are going to inherit all of the bill materials, the actual components that are required to produce this work order, as well as our routing operations, the machine labor resources that are required to build this as well. Now, from a planning perspective, we could also leverage our work center capacity planning workbench, and we can view all of the work orders that are currently open, and then we can visually understand where are we within capacity, where are we exceeding capacity, and then we can drill into this. We can see where, what percentage of our labor and machine capacity is being utilized as these work orders are being created. We can drill into that. We can drag and drop. If there is overlap, we want to drag and drop to a later date. And then we can drill into the work order itself. And we can even see our material availability. In this case, we can see all the items that are currently available, what needs to be purchased. So we have all the information that's now readily available to actually execute our production. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to your account executive.